So Jambavan gave him the jewel and his daughter. And they were married in the cave. Like that. Now when Krishna returned to Dwaraka, he showed the jewel to Satyajit, and Krishna gave the jewel back to Satyajit. Krishna was also detached. He didn't have any. Actually, when Satyajit first brought the jewel, Krishna told Satyajit, you should give it to Ugrasena, because the culture was whatever is the best should be given to the king. But Satyajit was attached. Why? Gold. And also he was strutting around town with the jewel. And when he would come, the jewel was bright like the sun. So he was big man on campus coming into Dwaraka. See me with my jewel. And he was worshiping it on an altar, getting lots of gold. Boy, there would be people right now very much interested in that, wouldn't they? Somebody in the White House might want that jewel. Or any government. Wow, if it's producing gold every day. But you would have to have the right kind of Brahmin. Not some cheap, okay, just get somebody from India, come on. It has to be the right kind of Brahmin. What?
What is the name of that cave where the Jambuvan and Krishna fought? They were fighting. Jambuvan.
What's the name of the cave?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know?
I have no idea. That's why.
No, I don't think it's mentioned. It's not mentioned in Krishna book. I don't know.
So that jewel must be still there in India.
Because afterwards, if I remember correctly, later on there's a murder, and Akrura, I think Akrura gets the jewel. So we'd have to find out what happened to the jewel from Akrura.
Okay, now full devotion.
He gave back to who? To the king? Oh, so maybe it sunk with Dwaraka. Remember Dwaraka went down. Maybe. So let's go. We'll excavate Dwaraka.
There, I just heard from the somebody in the, I think it was in the Facebook. They mentioned that the kingdom which went down, they found something in the.
They found something
in the Dwarka. I saw it from the NASA. So some city. Yeah, something. So maybe we have some idea.
Okay, shall we finish up?
Okay.
Before we all take a trip to Dwarka? Okay. The fight was actually between Duryodhana and Yudhishthir. Arjuna was fighting on behalf of his elder brother Yudhishthir. Because Krishna and Arjuna were on the side of Yudhishthir, Yudhishthir's victory was certain. The battle was to decide who would rule the world. And Sanjaya predicted that the power would be transferred to Yudhishthir. It is also predicted here that Yudhishthir, after gaining victory in this battle, would flourish more and more, because not only was he righteous and pious, but he was also a strict moralist. He never spoke a lie during his life. There are many less intelligent persons who take Bhagavad-gītā to be a discussion of topics between two friends on a battlefield. But such a book cannot be scripture. Some may protest that Krishna incited Arjuna to fight, which is immoral, but the reality of the situation is clearly stated. Bhagavad-gītā is the supreme instruction in morality. The supreme instruction of morality is stated in the 9th chapter, in the 34th verse. Manmana bhava madbhakta. Where does that line appear also? Chapter 18, verse? Correct. That's right, 65. The verse before your husband's verse. Yes. One must become a devotee of Krishna And the essence of all religion is to surrender unto Krishna. Everybody? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. The instructions of Bhagavad-gītā constitute the supreme process of religion and of morality. All other processes may be purifying and may lead to this process. But the last instruction of the Gita is the last word in all morality and religion. Surrender unto Krishna. This is the verdict of the 18th chapter. From Bhagavad-gītā, we can understand that to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process. But to fully surrender unto Krishna is the highest perfection. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-gītā. So we have read about 4 or 5 times where Prabhupada said, this is the essence. So there's more than one essence. We discussed this in our last session here. Somebody was saying there should only be one. No, there can be more than one essence of Bhagavad-gītā, at least according to Prabhupada. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-gītā. The path of regulative principles according to the orders of social life and according to different courses of religion may be a confidential path of knowledge. What do we call that system? Yes, excellent. But although the rituals of religion are confidential, meditation and cultivation of knowledge are still more confidential. And surrender unto Krishna in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is the most confidential instruction. Here's another one, another essence. Jai Prabhupada. More essences. Very good. But there are other, we already went over, there's other essences. Another feature of the Bhagavad-gītā is that the actual truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The absolute truth is realized in 3 features. This is what we started the class on, by the way. Those of you who were here at the beginning, right, Krishna Kumar? Impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shiva.
Krishna.
Oh, okay. You caught me. Very good. Perfect knowledge of the absolute truth means perfect knowledge of Durga. Oh, Krishna. Thank you. If one understands Kartikeya, Krishna. Oh, okay. Then all of the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of that understanding. Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal, internal potency. Oh, here it is. The living entities are manifested of his. Everybody? Okay. So Prabhupada just reiterated what we went over about 10 minutes ago. The living entities are manifested of his energy and are divided into 2 classes, eternally conditioned and eternally liberated. Now I have a question. Can the eternally conditioned become eternally liberated? It's a simple yes or no. Can the eternally conditioned become eternally liberated? Yes. Otherwise, why are we wasting our time studying Bhagavad-gītā? Yes. That's the whole, because if you can't, then forget it. Why should we do anything? If I'm going to be always conditioned, it's just like, some people when they go to jail, they throw away the key. There's no possibility of parole. Some people that in some places they don't kill the criminal, but they put him away for life. And then they have, if the guy is really evil, they say, you're going away with no possibility of parole. That means he can never get out. Never. But that's not the way Krishna works. Yes, sir.
When we say we are eternally conditioned, but on the other side we also say that we were with Krishna, so we were liberated, now we are liberated.
Yes, exactly. So, you know the answer, but you're asking this for others' benefit. Okay, that's just fine. That's fine. That's preaching. So, when it says eternally, it means you cannot trace out when the liberated soul became conditioned. What is the only reason why somebody who's liberated falls down and becomes conditioned? There's only one reason. What's that?
Free will. Free will, right?
Yes, but not just that. Misuse of free will. Misuse, meaning I want to imitate Krishna as Purusha, enjoyer. That's the only reason why a living entity who's liberated comes to the midnight. That's the only reason. There's no other cause. Yes?
So, Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada always mentioned that don't try to come back here, try to go back to the home, as you mentioned.
Yes.
So, if you, eternally again liberated, if you go back, you don't need to come back, they said.
Yes.
Right? But if you again start to think again,
Yes.
then
Yes.
again come back.
Yes.
There is a chance.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but we are again here. We are here now.
Yes.
We are trying to go back, but how? From there also there is chance for fall down.
Yes.
Then why we have to,
Huh?
again. Up and down, we are going to go up and down.
No.
But how we are going to decide there, and that is up to. Right now, maybe I will desire to do something. But when you go up there, that mind will be there or no, we don't know.
Okay.
It's
So,
totally blind.
That's okay. Look at it this way. There is more than one place in Bhagavad-gītā where Krishna says, having returned, one does not come back. Do you believe Krishna? Okay? So believe Krishna. Yes, it's conceivable because you have free will. It's conceivable. But Krishna is saying it won't happen. I trust Krishna.
Okay.
And I give the example, okay? When I was 5 years old, I took a pencil and stuck it in the socket. And my mother found me. She caught me before I got electrocuted. Okay? Now, could I do that again? Yes. Do you think I will? No. As long as I have my hand in my bead bag, right? But it's possible. So yes, you always have free will. But listen to what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad-gītā. You won't. I trust Krishna. Okay? Don't worry. Masuchaha. Don't worry. Don't hesitate. Don't fear. Trust Krishna.
Okay.
And besides, you can worry about that once you get back. Don't worry about that now.
When you say eternal word, that means past and future also?
In this context, eternal means you cannot trace out. Other definitions of eternal means no past, present, and future. So this word eternal depends on the context.
So if we become liberated, will be called that we are eternally liberated, or we became liberated after?
No, the Vedas say, even now, the soul is not contaminated. Even now. Right now, the soul is still eternally liberated, but you don't think like that. because you've given power of attorney to the mind. So you think you're eternally conditioned.
Whole thinking is changed.
Okay, now, listen. There's one explanation that actually we have not left the spiritual world. We're right there dreaming. This is a dream.
Yeah. Because I think when you advance more and more, when you're chanting more and more, that realization will be, you realize
Yes.
stronger.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Just like Shukadev called Parikshit. Parikshit, if you follow my instructions, you won't even perceive that the snake bird is biting you. You will be in Krishna consciousness. Prahlad was the same way. The description of Prahlad in Canto 7, he didn't even know how his body was working. He was so much in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes he would feel Krishna's hand on his hand. So yes, it's a question of, because you've heard me say 1,000,000,000 times, this is a dream. We're dreaming this. Jeev Jago. What does Jeev Jago mean? Wake up from the dream.
become sleeping soul.
Yes. We're sleeping on the lap of the witch called. We think, just like Prabhupada used to say. Because even back in Prabhupada's time, the women's lib issue used to come out. So Prabhupada said, if you think you're a woman, then you're a woman. But if you think you are a devotee, you're liberated. And I think you mentioned it too earlier. We think of ourselves as devotees, not as man and woman. We think of ourselves as Krishna's eternal servant. Should we finish up?
Yep.
I want to finish this. Such living entities are innumerable, meaning you can't count. Innumerable means, the context is you can't count. And they are considered fundamental parts of Krishna. Material energy is manifested into 24 divisions. The creation is effected by eternal time and is created and dissolved by external energy. This manifestation of the cosmic world repeatedly becomes visible and invisible. In Bhagavad-gītā, 5 principal subject matters have been discussed. Number 1, the Supreme Personality Godhead. Therefore, the Sanskrit word Ishvar. Material nature, Prakriti. The living entities, Jiva. Eternal time, Kala. And all kinds of activities, Karma. Which one is not eternal? Karma. And that's very important. Because if karma was eternal, again, that means you're not going to get out. You're always going to be in the material world if karma is eternal. If karma is eternal, that's it. Nothing you can do.
Karma, you get the reaction of that, is finished.
Yeah, that's why it's not eternal. But it seems eternal because I keep doing sinful activities. I keep plugging and unplugging the fan. All is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All conceptions of the Absolute Truth, impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and any other transcendental conception exist within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although superficially the Supreme Personality of God and the living entity, material nature, and time appear to be different, nothing is different from the Supreme. But the Supreme is always different from everything. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. The Sanskrit, Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. This system of philosophy constitutes perfect knowledge of the Absolute Truth. The living entity in his original position is pure spirit. He is just like an atomic particle of the Supreme Spirit. Thus, Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun and the living entities to sunshine. Because the living entities are the marginal energy of Krishna. Again, Prabhupada's consistent. Energy. They have a tendency to be in contact with either the material energy or with the spiritual energy. In other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord, and because he belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna. Thus he attains his normal condition in the pleasure-giving potency. We finished. Everybody chant the Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,